Hi everyone, and welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my best 6 tips for how to have a successful enema. So this isn't a how to do an enema video. If you want a step-by-step instruction for how to safely administer an enema at home, you can check out my video here. I've been regularly doing enemas for over 10 years now, and by implementing these tips that I'm about to share with you, I've noticed a lot more waste removal and an increase in many of the other benefits of enemas, like less bloating, flatter tummy, a clearer mind, and increased energy. So before I get into today's video, I just want to say a special thank you to today's sponsor, Medisential. So this company has dedicated themselves to producing the highest quality stainless steel enema kit, and here it is right here. So I've personally used plastic buckets and rubber bottles in the past, but nothing compares to a beautiful high quality product like this. And I would never promote something that I personally don't love and use, and this is the one that I use. It is long lasting and ensures maximum durability and hygiene. This product is made out of non-toxic medical grade materials, which ensures that it is non-reactive to any acids or enzymes that you put into your enema solution. Medisential delivers worldwide, so if you're interested in their product, I will leave a link to their website in the description below. Now let's get on to the tips. The temperature of water that you use in your enema is very important. If it's too cold, it can cause your colon to contract and cramp, and if it's too hot, it can damage the delicate mucosa lining. So the temperature should be slightly above body temperature, so 36 and 40 degrees Celsius or 98 and 105 degrees Fahrenheit. And you can test this with a thermometer, or I like to just dip my finger into the water after I've gently heated it up on the stove, and it should feel neutral. And the correct water temperature will help your colon to relax and support optimal waste removal while allowing you to have a comfortable experience. So this has been one of the most helpful things for me personally when it comes to optimal waste removal. Massaging your tummy while the water inside really helps to soften the waste and break it up and help move it along. And here are 4 massage techniques that I use and find to be really effective. So for the first technique, you can try getting your thumb and using pretty firm pressure and moving across your transverse colon towards the descending colon. And I find that my waist sometimes gets stuck in this corner here. I'm not sure, there might be a little something going on there, like a pocket or something, but I can actually feel it get stuck there. So I like to get my thumb and really dig in there a little bit more to help it move out of that corner, and I find that it's really effective. So perhaps you can see if maybe you have that same issue and you can try that also. So the second technique uses both of your hands in a gentle sweeping motion upwards, and you move up your ascending colon, across your transverse colon, and down your descending colon. And this technique is really gentle and comfortable and helps get things flowing. So the third technique is fairly similar. It uses both of your hands again in that sweeping flowing motion, but this time you just do it across the transverse colon, and the pressure is more firm, and with your right hand kind of use your palm a little bit more to really dig a little bit deeper. And the final technique uses just your fingertips with a fairly firm pressure just across your transverse colon. And this one is actually probably my favorite one. I don't know whether it's the vibration that really seems to be effective, but yeah, I love it and find that it works really well. And you can choose to just use one of these techniques or use them interchangeably during the enema process. So a comment I receive a lot on how to do an enema video is I let all the water in, but I feel extremely full and very uncomfortable, and I feel the need to expel almost immediately. But the problem being that I release all the water, but no waste comes out. And this also happened to me when I first started doing enemas, and I quickly realized that I was simply letting too much water inside of me too quickly. And this leads to a very full sensation with the need to expel expel very quickly, but the water hasn't been in there long enough to soften and break up the waste matter. And most people do allow the entire bucket of water to flow in at one time, because this is generally what a lot of people do recommend. But I find, and I'm realizing that a lot of other people are finding too, that that doesn't always work. And I want to make it clear that I don't think a successful enema is dependent upon how much water you can take in at one time. It's not always the more the better. I personally find that letting in a little bit of water, and then when you feel a little bit of discomfort, turning off the clamp and just lying back and relaxing, deep breathing and doing some massaging on the tummy. And then when you feel comfortable again, letting a little bit more water in and continuing the process until you feel the need to expel is a very good way to do it. And I find this process to be a lot more comfortable too. And you can feel free to interrupt the flow as often as possible to minimize any discomfort. And if you feel the need to expel only after letting in a little bit of water a couple of times, then that's completely okay. I want to reiterate that you don't need to take in all the water to have a successful enema. I have heard of people being able to take in the complete 2 to 4 liters of water at one time and holding it for 10 or 15 minutes and then releasing it, but that doesn't necessarily work for everyone. So I recommend, if that doesn't work for you, to try the process that I shared and seeing if that is more suitable. This is all about finding what works for you. At what point during the day you decide to do an enema also affects how successful it is. Make sure you don't do an enema soon after eating a meal. I find the best time to do one is in the morning after you have your first natural bowel movement, if you have one, and before your first meal, so that your colon is mostly empty at that point. If you have limited time with a huge to-do list and many distractions, I can assure you that your enema most likely won't be as successful as it could be. The function of our bowels is closely related to our psychological state. So if you're feeling all frazzled and hurried, then this will restrict and contract your gut motility. Having a calm state of mind will help your colon to relax and ensure you have a much more successful enema. So I recommend putting aside a good half an hour at least when you do one. Trying out different positions during your enema can be the difference between you releasing a little bit of waste or a lot of waste. I've learned that some days the waste comes out very quickly and efficiently, and other days it can take a little bit more support to help with optimal elimination. And this can be due to many factors like diet or stress, etc. Positioning yourself in certain ways helps the flow of fluid into the rectum and aids the water distribution and retention. And I've heard there are rules about which positions to use and not to use, but I find that different positions work for different people, so it's all about finding what works for you. Personally, I find that lying on my back generally works just fine, but sometimes I also like to lie on my right side when things seem to be a little bit more stubborn. And when things are being really stubborn, I find rolling over onto all fours, onto my elbows, and sticking my butt into the air. That position really seems to help things move along. Other positions include lying on your left side, and another one is lying on your back with your knees tucked up. And it's fine to move through different positions during the enema. So I find creating a safe space to do an enema is absolutely crucial. It's all about making yourself feel as relaxed and as comfortable as possible, particularly if you're new to enemas, because it can feel a little bit daunting. And nervousness can cause the rectum to contract and tighten, which we don't want. So don't just lie anywhere in your house and plan to get the practice over as soon as possible. This doesn't mean that you need to have a special room dedicated to doing your enema. It just means putting in a little extra time and effort into creating a space that makes you feel comfortable. So wherever you decide to do it, it's helpful to lie down a yoga mat or a towel, or both, which is what I like to do, so that your back is nice and comfortable. You can light some candles, put on some relaxing music, and even get a nice warm blanket to cover yourself if it's cold. And I know this might seem a little over the top, but doing an enema is such a beautiful self-love practice. So making the experience as comfortable as possible will only help to nourish your body and soul on a deeper level and allow you to experience a much more successful enema. I hope you found these tips tips helpful. Let me know if you try out any of them, and also comment below if you have any other tips that I might have missed. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.